These two friends, who were closest to each other, had decided to commit suicide together. They placed a gun to each other's heads and promised to count to 3 before pulling the trigger. When they both said 3 at the same time, the sound of an explosion was heard. However, there must be a reason for this suicide attempt, and the movie reveals the cause behind this suicide attempt. Kevin, who stays in a mental hospital, tries to convince his psychologist that he is mentally stable. However, the psychologist remains unconvinced due to Kevin's suicide attempt on Monday of this week. Kevin, who has been in foster care since childhood and has received psychological support multiple times before, has been unable to maintain stability. He finds this world meaningless and believes that there is no need for every living being to exist. Our other character's name is Val. They have a troubled relationship with their girlfriend and face difficulties getting along with everyone at work. Like Kevin, Val has made multiple suicide attempts but has been unsuccessful. This morning, in the restroom at their workplace, Val attempted to hang themselves by looping their belt around their neck and attaching it to a hook. However, he once again failed to commit suicide because a friend from work came into the restroom. After talking to their boss this morning, Val finally resigned from the job they hated. After leaving the job, Val found solace by visiting Kevin. Their purpose in going there was to help Kevin escape from the mental hospital. While Kevin believed it to be impossible, Val was resolute. The plan was clear. Val lit a cigarette and waited for the smoke detector to go off. As they waited, a nurse entered the room and warned Val not to smoke there, opening the window in the process. Seizing the opportunity, the two friends slipped away through the open window. Val told Kevin that they needed his help and asked him to open their backpack. They revealed 2 guns hidden beneath their t-shirts. Val asked Kevin whether their intention while attempting suicide by taking pills on Monday was to die or to seek attention. Kevin confidently stated that he wanted to die. Since the only place where no one would be present at 10:30 in the morning was a strip club, they went there. They planned to count down from 3 and commit suicide there, so that neither of them would have to wake up tomorrow morning. However, Kevin didn't want to go through with it, and when they counted down to 3, Kevin intervened by moving Val's gun away with his hand. Kevin asked for just 1 day's time, and after 1 day, they decided to attempt it again, but this time they promised that they would be successful. They went out to have a meal together, and Kevin, knowing that today was their last day, suggested that they do something they had never done before. When Val asked what it could be, Kevin mentioned reconciling with their father, with whom they had been estranged for years. However, Val found this idea absurd. In the restaurant, Kevin encountered a high school friend who recounted how they used to mock and belittle Kevin during their school years, even sharing an incident when they deliberately hit Kevin with a car, resulting in a year-long physical therapy for Kevin. Since it was their last day, they devised a revenge plan. They went to the clinic of Dr. Brenner, the former psychologist who had been abusive towards Kevin in their childhood. They approached Dr. Brenner's assistant and expressed their desire to surprise him. Their ultimate goal was to kill him and then take their own lives. However, the doctor hadn't come to work that day. The assistant informed them that Dr. Brenner had a patient scheduled for around 6 p.m. and would be arriving at that time. After receiving this information, the two of them left the clinic. They went to a shooting range as Kevin had never used a firearm before. This would allow them to pass the time until the doctor returned to his clinic, while also providing an opportunity for Kevin to learn how to use a gun. At that moment, Kevin's girlfriend sent him a voice message, revealing that she was pregnant. To reminisce about the old days and engage in an activity they used to enjoy, they went to a vintage motorcycle racing track where they used to go. There, they raced against each other and had fun, just like they did in the old days. During the motorcycle race, Val had a fall and got injured. Kevin went to get some gauze from the gas station to dress Val's wound. However, when he approached the cashier, who had just taken over the register and was busy counting money, the cashier ignored him. Kevin became angry with the cashier and pointed the gun at them, wanting to teach them a lesson. It was the first time Kevin had reacted to being ignored, and the gun boosted his self-confidence. Val went to their father's automotive repair shop, whom they hadn't seen in years. They hugged their father and asked for the $2,300 that their father had taken from them when Val was 22 years old. However, their father claimed to have no money to give back. Val used a wrench to open the cash register at the shop and started taking the money. In that moment, their father became angry and attacked Val, leading to a fight between them. Unable to bear seeing their friend being beaten, Kevin intervened by hitting Val's father, causing him to be knocked unconscious. With the money they took from their father, Val went to their girlfriend's house and tried to give her the money. However, she refused to accept it and even revealed that she didn't want to bring the baby into the world and planned to have an abortion. Val tried to convince her otherwise, expressing how much they knew she loved babies. However, their girlfriend remained unconvinced and ultimately kicked Val out of her house. At that moment, Kevin went to the beach with the intention of killing the high school friend who had mocked and taunted him. He took the gun and was about to get out of the car when he remembered the words of the psychologist he had seen when he was young. The psychologist had told him that he wasn't as happy as a fish because, unlike fish, he couldn't find happiness just by having his stomach full. The psychologist also mentioned that even scientists like him were constantly depressed and unhappy, and that he wasn't as simple as other people, but rather, this complexity made him a more intelligent individual. Upon recalling these words, Kevin decided to abandon his plan of killing his high school friend. Finally, it was 6 p.m. and the duo arrived in front of Dr. Brenner's clinic. As soon as they stopped, Val expressed that this day had been meaningful to them and that they no longer wanted to die. On the other hand, Kevin argued that what made this day meaningful was the fact that it was their last day, and they valued themselves enough to think this way. Kevin tried to persuade Val to reconsider their decision. Kevin couldn't convince Val, and they were determined to carry out the act alone, specifically targeting the killing of Dr. Brenner. Kevin used the elevator to go up to the clinic, and after ascending 2 floors, Dr. Brenner entered the elevator. Despite the passing years, Kevin recognized him instantly. Dr. Brenner got off the elevator, and Kevin followed him. When Dr. Brenner turned around and recognized Kevin, Kevin confronted him, saying, "I came to you to heal, but I only got worse, and it's because of you." Kevin pointed the gun at him and demanded that Dr. Brenner kneel. Dr. Brenner complied, kneeling down, and Kevin brought the gun closer to his head, intending to shoot. However, the gun didn't fire because Kevin had forgotten to disengage the safety. Taken aback by the turn of events, Dr. Brenner seized the gun from Kevin's hand. At that moment, Val appeared and, thinking that Dr. Brenner intended to kill Kevin, shot Dr. Brenner in the head, killing him. The duo quickly fled the scene, but they were pursued by the police, and they attempted to escape. In the end, both of them were apprehended, but there was some distance between Kevin and the police. Kevin, in an attempt to protect Val, told them to pin the murder of the doctor on him, hoping that Val would receive a lighter sentence. With that intention, Kevin shot himself in the mouth, committing suicide. Lav had a child, and on Father's Day, visited Lav in prison to celebrate the occasion together.